welcome back to the boardroom, board members. This is the chatty chairwoman with a review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. What do you, Wanda, do about it? I love the way they play on words for the titles. But I would say if it wasn't for Wanda and the Scott family, there would be no show at this point, correct? Because all of the other stuff is just fillers. It's just fillers. So it opens up with them at Miss Wanda's dinner party. She's invited her entire family from the other side of the tracks. And Uncle Bernard / Cousin Bernard is there, carrying on the way he did in the last episode as a disgrace. And Marsau has to check him not once, but several times. So it goes on. Kiki has arrived, ready to continue her assignment by mail to show up that Tisha and Marsau's marriage is a flop. It's a disaster, and he's a cheater. So it goes on with Miss Tisha saying to Kiki, which, man, I really felt bad for Tisha in this. You came to me and you warned me, Kiki, to stay away from Mel and Martel because their plan was to destroy my marriage. And then she said to Kiki, then you go align yourself with them and come attack my marriage, which left Tisha in tears. I know I'm gonna say Tisha. I'm gonna butcher the name all the way through. I just can't help it. Okay, I'm used to old-fashioned names like Latoya, something else, Letitia. I'm gonna butcher it all the way through. So she was really left in tears, and Kiki was really coming for her. Now, for a moment, I actually thought Wanda had a light bulb moment because Miss Wanda interjected herself into this big old argument between Kiki and Letitia, and she said, stop it, we're not going to have this. Everybody out here is talking at the same time, and we're not going to have this foolishness. I will just cancel this party right now. I was like, oh my God. So Wanda does know how to stand on the side of right in the middle of a fight, especially one that involves hurting her own daughter and son-in-law and the parents of her grandchildren. Boy, was I wrong, right? What did Miss Wanda say? Miss Wanda said they got to talk one at a time. She does not get it. So instead of her telling them to cut the foolishness out and get out, she said they got to talk one at a time. So Wanda knows the assignment. And even if the assignment is to attack, degrade, disrespect her own daughter, she's all for it. Why? Because Wanda's on a mission. She got to use this exposure on TV to get those coins to start her business and her recipes or whatever else she's trying to sell or hustle. So it's really sad because for a moment I said, oh my gosh, Miss Wanda is turning the corner, but she is not. So it made me wonder. I want to know a little bit more about Bessemer, Alabama. Bessemer, Alabama is where they were raised, and I did a little research and found out Bessemer, Alabama, of course, is in Alabama. The population is 30,000 people. This is as of the 2020 census. The average income is $23,000. It's 70% African American and 29% white. And then the major industries are industrial and truck farming. In 2018, Amazon did build a plant there. So I said, I've never heard of Bessemer, Alabama. Who comes from there? Because who are these people on the television screen making an absolute fool out of themselves? And I'm telling you, I know they're not getting paid, but because the light is flashing and they can say I was on TV, they gonna act a fool, Uncle Cousin Bernard. So I said, who else came from here? I need to know because, you know, when we're in the boardroom, we like to know all the facts and all the background. We don't just want to recap. We got to understand how people are. Am I right? So I did some more research and I said, who else come from here? Who else came from here? Who lived and was born and raised here? But the people we know are pretty famous too, including Bo Jackson, the Heisman Trophy winner, Eddie Levert, Gucci Mane, and Jameis Winston with the New Orleans Saints. All came from Bessemer, Alabama. Can you believe it? They figured out how to get out. But the ones that we see on our television screen, acting a fool, just to be on TV, because you know they're not getting paid. There's no way in the world Carlos King is cutting a check to Uncle Cousin Bernard because he's acting a fool and he does not care. And then the thing to see that Marsau has to stand up and defend his wife, and then Kiki's husband gets involved. So here's the thing, when you get in an argument with somebody, because clearly Kiki and her husband forgot, you got to remember what they did for you, because they will certainly play that card. And I think that's the only reason why Kiki and her husband backed down, because they knew Marsau and Tisha were going to spill the beans on all that they've done for them. Now, of course, it seemed like Kiki had something in her back pocket too, and she was more than willing to share. Come on now, let's just be honest. Do you think she would even be on the show if she didn't have the goods on their relationship? Of course not. That's her whole assignment. Now, here's the deal. So we're hearing different things about what the real story is or was that Marsau shared, that Tisha told him, that Kiki wanted her to keep in confidence. So Kiki did place on social media, Instagram, after the show aired, that she had taken a prescription and told the hospital, I'm summarizing here, told the hospital that somebody was driving her home, but she was actually driving herself home. And of course, the side effects of the prescription kicked in, and when she woke up, she was being arrested. So she should not have been driving. And she said she was embarrassed, so she was arrested, and you know, she didn't want anybody to know. That's what she said on her Instagram post that was told to Mel and Martel when Kiki was coming to their home for Christmas. So apparently she got to the house and found out that Marsau had been giving them all the background on Kiki. Now, I don't know how that is relevant. I don't know why they would tell Martel and Mel that story before a guest that they've invited to dinner arrives. Now, I've also heard another story, allegedly. I heard, and I can't remember where I heard it, that Kiki had bed bugs, allegedly, and she was coming over to dinner at Martel and Mel's house. So they wanted to make sure she was aware, because, you know, with bed bugs, you can transfer them from place to place. That's where I heard that like weeks ago, allegedly. That was the real scenario. And to me, that makes more sense, because if you're going to somebody's house and you're having a bed bug incident and somebody else knows, of course they want to alert the homeowner. Rather than her being arrested, I mean, that's going to be public record. And in such a small town, of course, that information would circulate so quickly, everybody would know. And it doesn't make sense if she's coming to dinner. Why would it be relevant that she was arrested for taking a prescription drug and driving home? So the latter makes more sense to me, allegedly. That's what the true story is. But you know what? Maybe they'll tell us. We will never know, because that's something I saw on one of the blogs. Anyhow, I know I went off on a tangent, but I know the board members like to have all the backstory, because we are not surface level. We are the smart ones. We are the ones in the know. We are the ones cutting the deals, getting the deals done. So we like to know more than substance. So I try to bring a little more. And I'm sure you are like me. You want to know Bessemer, Alabama. What is that town all about? Because the people on this screen are not a great representation. So there you have it. Then we move right along to the next scene, which is Kimmy and Destiny, which I think is another filler scene. And Kimmy and Maurice are very boring. They're playing it safe. They're on the screen to collect the check. They have zero storyline. I think it's time for them to go. So Kimmy's only assignment is to what? Carry the bone like Sheree did. At least Sheree was entertaining. She has quick lines. She came up with one of the best lines of all of reality TV. Who's gonna check me, boo? Kimmy has none of that. So why is she the bone collector? And she goes on to talk to Destiny and tells Destiny, does she ever feel like her and Stormy can be friends, or her and Mel can be friends? I know. Come on, we've had this for 5 episodes now. Enough is enough. Then we go on to Lewis and Tiffany. You know, this is going to be one sentence. And they talk about Miss Tiffany and Mel's trip to find out more about her biological father. Then we have Martel meeting with his PR marketing person, planning his wine tasting event in Atlanta. And then we back to some of the juice, some of the tea of the show. Tisha and Marsau meeting, talking about and reacting to the way they were treated by her family at Miss Wanda's dinner. And once again, I really felt bad for Tisha because she was really disappointed that someone who was her friend, who warned her that Mel and Martel were coming after her marriage, then goes and aligns with her and does the dirty work. She was very hurt with that and really poured her heart out to Marsau. And Marsau actually had a moment, to me, a moment of compassion, of supporting his wife, and then said to her, please don't ask me any more ridiculous questions. You know, Marsau is a smart mouth. The Scots are pretty manipulative, I would say, when it comes to their wives, and they don't want to be questioned and or challenged. It is clear. And I don't know if that's because they're guilty or if they feel disrespected. Only time will tell what's really going on with the Scott brothers. Only time will tell. But the thing about it is, Martel has planned a men's trip to Atlanta. This is how the episode ends. They're all in the car. Martel said he's planning to turn it up because he's single. Clearly, in this area, Martel has not matured. You would think at this point he would try to show some level of class, but clearly he's still in the gutter, right? And what they say, freedom ain't free. So Martel thinks this new freedom in his life is going to really allow him to enjoy himself. Go right along. He has not learned his lesson. As a matter of fact, check out my video where I talk about Martel says he made a lot of mistakes in his marriage and he now regrets it and he's trying to behave differently so that him and Mel can still together and co-parent. Well, clearly based on this, we know what, let me take that back, because they probably, I'm sure, they filmed this before he did that interview about he regrets the mistakes he made. Okay, so I'm going to give him a pass. But they're driving to Atlanta and they're talking about what they're going to do and how they're going to turn it up. And Marsau says to Maurice, I sure hope your reason doesn't include adultery. So clearly, Marsau and Maurice are walking lockstep, and each knows what the other has done wrong or what the other is capable of. So we will see more in the next episode. Thank you so much for stopping by. I certainly appreciate you all. This is the Chatty Chairwoman. Don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification button. And you know what? If you feel really good, you can also share this video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.